What is going on, you plebs and peasants? Escape back here today. It's Friday, as I promised. A new video every Monday and Friday. And so you guys voted for fundamental concepts, so that's what we're going to be doing. And basically, before we start off the video, I'm going to give a disclaimer and say that you can't only watch YouTube videos and streams and expect to just become better at the game. You have to put in time yourself, and you can't just play the game. So those are my big two tips. You have to play the game, but you have to watch streams and YouTube videos. That's the number one tip. The second tip is you have to play the game, but you can't just play the game. You have to also practice the game. So I'll see like people, like one kid will play, I don't know, 6 hours a day. Won't rank up that much, maybe like one rank every day or something like that. But then there'll be that one guy that'll play like 2 to 3 hours a day, but he's practicing the game. He's consciously like being aware of what his opponent's playing, what he's playing, what he can draw, what his opponent may play next turn, stuff like that. So just want to let you guys know, practice the game. Don't just play it and not think about what's going on. Always think about what your opponent can play, cards that archetype usually plays on like a specific turn, stuff like that, cards you've played, etc. Anyways, that's just a disclaimer. So let's hop into today's topic, which is trading. So what is trading? Trading is essentially I give up something and I take something. And yeah, so it's basically a give and take. It's like a barter, I guess. And usually in a trade, you want to get the most value possible out of your cards. Essentially generate card advantage, stuff like that. Trading also requires you to comprehend what your opponent is going to play in the future a lot of the time. And yeah, those are the main two things you want to know about trading. But besides that, there are two other things, two bigger categories you want to know about. And those being that you want to know, when do you want to trade? So there are many instances when you want to trade. Usually you want to trade when your opponent has minions on board and you're at the risk of losing the game. They may have lethal in the next turn or something. You want to usually trade with their minions, like such classes. Usually it's like Shaman and Hunter where this happens, where they have like a kill command or a quick shot in hand, or like a lava burst, rock biter, doom hammer combo, something like that. You want to always clear the board. The second thing is, if you know you can like if you know that your opponent can efficiently outtrade yourself the following turn, it's actually like gain control of the board. Like for example, if like Flame Imp kills, like you kill an enemy totem with a Flame Imp, so they can't play a Flame Tongue totem and kill your Flame Imp for free because the totem is essentially not like a card or a minion. So yeah, you usually like kill the totem so they can't gain anything off of it, and then you can further develop the board. So that's when you usually want to trade. Another thing is when like the game is still in development and you know you can get card advantage over your opponent. So they play like a Straza Champ. You have a possessed villager. You play the abusive sergeant on the possessed villager. Trade into the Straza Champ. You get your 1/1 back, and they lose a card. So with that being said, the second part is when you don't want to trade. This is the bigger part. You don't want to trade when you have to like expend multiple resources on a card that isn't going to generate massive advantage for your opponent. So like sometimes you'll see people waste like multiple like 2 cards on an Azure Drake. Like first of all, the Azure Drake got a card back for itself. Like for example, people like backstab, eviscerate it. Like you can save that, backstab a minion that he's gonna play next turn, and then eviscerate the Azure Drake with the combo, so you can efficiently kill it and potentially even kill the other minion. But that's one of the big things I see. Newer players, really new players tend to go face, which is the biggest mistake with newer players. But usually intermediate players, opponent will drop something, they'll freak out, they'll be like, oh, we have to get rid of it as soon as possible. like, no, just relax. Think about what your opponent can play, comprehend, and try to get as much as you can out of your resources. And yeah. Also, you don't want to trade with the opponent's minions when you see that when you potentially have the right cards to end the game, such as like kill command, like double kill command in hand or something like that. So usually you don't want to trade when you know you can get lethal. However, do trade if you think your opponent can kill you before you can kill them. So let's say your opponent is playing Shaman, they have a bunch of minions on board, you're playing Hunter, but you know that you could play Call of the Wild next turn and win the game, but you know they have a Doom Hammer or something on board, and they might play a Rockbiter, and they have a bunch of minions on board as well, and they could potentially play Rockbiter Doom Hammer combo and kill you. Obviously, clear the board, make sure they can't hit lethal on you, and yeah, that's another big thing. Don't just assume, oh, I have lethal, I can go for it. Make sure your opponent doesn't have lethal as well. So there's the two things when you don't want to trade. Now, there's also a thing where trading isn't going to be efficient in the instant, but you got to think ahead, you got to comprehend. For example, stuff like this would be like playing like a sap or something on like cards like Fandral, Bran, Emperor Thorson. Like, usually you want to get rid of those cards as soon as possible, because if those cards stay alive for more than a turn, your opponent is usually going to generate too much value off of them, and you're just going to fall too far behind, and the resources that you did have aren't going to be useful anymore. So that's the big thing. You don't ever let cards like that. For example, like Sap, you might like some rogue player might play Sap on a Bran or Emperor Thorson or like a Fandral, but like in the instant, it's not worth it because, okay, you lose a card, it goes back to their hand, but at the same time, the next turn they can't just like wombo you or something. They have to use more mana. So that's that. Those are the big things. That's like basically what I have to say on trading. Don't forget to comprehend what your opponent's going to play. That's one of the biggest things about trading. And I'll actually be in one of the examples I'm going to show right here. And yeah, without any further ado, let's hop into the examples. So the first example we're going to have is this right here. So we have 3 Hounds, Fiery Bat in our hand, and an Abusive Sergeant in hand, and a weapon. So what we want to do here, turn 4, the opponent can play Flame Wrath, Faceless, stuff like that. He can play minions, another Tuskar potentially. He might play a the 6 mana 5/5. I forgot what it's called, but the one where whenever you summon a totem, its cost becomes 1 less. But right here, we want to look at what's the most efficient way to clear the board, because Shaman can do a lot of stuff with their totems and stuff. So you want to get rid of their board. So right here, usually people will be like, okay, let's hit the Tuskar Totemic with our Fiery Bat, and we'll have a higher chance of hitting the Flame Tongue or the Searing Totem than hitting Face. Whereas if we hit our... So yeah, that's what people will usually first think. They'll think, okay, let's hit our Fiery Bat into the Tuskar Totemic so we can kill the Searing Totem or the Flame Tongue Totem. But that's not what you want to do here. What you really want to do here is what you want to do right here is you want to hit one of your Hounds into the Flame Tongue Totem. And why you do that is, if you were to first hit your Fiery Bat into the Tuskar Totemic, there is only a 33% chance that you kill the Searing Totem. But if you send one of your Hounds into the Flame Tongue Totem, and then you send your Fiery Bat in a Tuskar Totemic, then you're going to have a 50% chance of killing the Searing Totem. So your chances go up by almost 17%. So, and when you do that, the chances of you having a hound, extra Hound go up. So that's the play right here. You want to first kill the Flame Tongue Totem with one of your Hounds, then kill the Tuskar Totemic with the Fiery Bat. And so the Fiery Bat's Death Rattle will have a higher % chance of hitting a Searing Totem, and you save 1 Hound in which you can play the Abusive Sergeant Houndmaster next turn for killing, like, for example, the 6/5/5. So something like that. So always keep around, do the math. I know Hearthstone has a lot of math. Always do the math, stuff like that. Trading does include a lot of that. So yeah, that's that. As you can see, that's actually what happened the turn after that. That's what happened. So I got one hound. Didn't waste one of the hounds into trading it with the Searing Totem. So that's that. Another thing, next situation we're going to be having is the zoo trade right here. So what we could do right here is we could play the Imp Gang boss, or we could play. So let's look at a bunch of the things we can do right here. We can play the Imp Gang boss. We can play the Soulfire, followed up by something else, or we can play something else before we play the Soulfire. Like we could play Abusive Sergeant, Soulfire, Villager, but that's not efficient. You don't want to waste that many resources, as I said, on something like a Tuskar Totemic. So Soulfire is not worth it. Possessed Villager won't be on curve. And this is where you come to the thing of, do you just play an Abusive Sergeant Forbidden Ritual? Or do you play the Imp Gang boss? Or do you just play a Forbidden Ritual straight up? So the thing right here is, okay, you play the Abusive Sergeant on your, let's say you were to play the Abusive Sergeant on your Voidwalker, right? You play the Abusive Sergeant on your Voidwalker. You trade in the Tuskar Totemic. You kill the totem with your Flame Imp, and you play Forbidden Ritual. Okay, that's that. But then what happens next turn if your opponent plays the, let's say, the 7/7, or they play, let's say, Feral Imps? You have to basically give up most of your board to kill it, or you have to waste a Soulfire, so waste 2 more cards. So I don't think that's the most efficient play right here. You also don't want to play the Imp Gang boss. I mean, you can, but if your opponent once again plays another 7/7, then you're just stuck with, you're not doing anything, and so you have to use more resources to kill it. So right here, what I think is the best play is, what we're going to do is you're going to trade the Flame Imp into the O2, play a Forbidden Ritual straight up, and hit face with the Voidwalker. In this case, if they play the 6 mana 5/5 next turn, if they play that one card next turn, the the taunt 5/5 for Shaman. If they play that, then you have 3 1/1 tokens, and an Abusive Sergeant in hand, and a Soulfire still in hand, and you can basically deal with anything. You can deal with the 7/7, you can deal with the 5/5, you can deal with Feral Spirits, you can essentially deal with anything the Shaman throws at you the next turn. The only thing you can't deal with is if they play Lightning Storm, in which it doesn't matter if we play Abusive Sergeant with the Forbidden Ritual or just the Forbidden Ritual straight up. Like, it's all going to die. But even if we don't play the Abusive Sergeant and the Forbidden Ritual straight up, then, I mean, at least we still have the Abusive Sergeant in hand, right? So we can use it for something else, any additional math we need to do further on in the game. So right here, the Forbidden Ritual is what I think the best play, because you can deal with basically anything the Shaman throws at you the next turn. You can deal with the 7/7, the 5/5 with the Abusive Sergeant Soulfire. You can deal with Feral Spirits by using Sergeant on one of your tokens, stuff like that. And if your opponent goes Lightning Storm, then you can just drop Imp Gang Boss and Possessed Villager the following turn. So yeah, the Forbidden Ritual is the better play in this scenario. Alright. And the last scenario we're going to have is basically a go face with the Hunter. So if you're like a really, really new player right here, you're probably going to go face anyways, but lots of people but between beginner and intermediate players, or yeah, they're going to trade the 6/5 into the 6/6. But right here, you're going to go face. You have to go face. Your opponent is going to have to expend so many resources just to get rid of your 5/5, or your entire board. They have to waste so many resources, potentially even trading their own 6/4 fire elemental into one of your cards. So they're gonna have to waste a lot of resources. You have the hunter hero power. You have a high main. You have deadly shot. Like next turn, if they clear their board, wasting it all to clear your board, you can just drop a high main. They're at 5 health. You can deadly shot anything else they play. Like if they play the 7/7, yeah, and then you can just hero power them to death. They have to waste so many resources. So yeah, this is why in this situation you just go face. And yep, all 3 of these games I won, but yeah. Anyways, regardless of that, guys, that's the video. Hope you guys enjoy it. I didn't go too in depth into it, but I think there's millions and millions of possibilities for different trading scenarios. I mean, I can't go into all of them. That's what I was saying. Streams and YouTube videos are just elaborations on theories. So yeah, you guys have to play yourself. You guys have to play against all the different types of decks, get a basic knowledge of what those decks play on each turn, stuff like that, how to trade. And you have to, don't just play the game, please practice the game. Practice the game. Do not play the game. Practice the game. And yeah, that's basically it. So if you guys don't mind, you can go follow my stream, twitch.tv/witnessmiracles or twitch.tv/tbgescape. That's my YouTube, youtube.com/witnessmiracles. But you can go follow my stream. It's going to be twitch.tv/tbgescape. I'm going to be doing a dual commentary on the Karazhan reveal tomorrow night with one of my viewers, Tsukame. He's hit legend multiple times. He knows what to do. He knows a lot about the game. So yeah, make sure to tune in. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, like, comment, subscribe. Please give me more criticism. I personally like criticism. You guys can tell me what I need to do better for my videos. I like it. Helps me get better at the game, stuff like that. Better at making videos, etc. And yeah, so if you want to follow this, go follow my stream, twitch.tv/tbgescape. I stream Monday through Friday, 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Saturdays 2 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. However, tomorrow, which is Saturday, I'm going to be doing, it's probably going to be from 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because that's when Tsukame can do it. So that's when we're gonna be doing the dual commentary. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see for Monday's video, because just like I did for this video, let me know what you guys want. I might do another poll for Monday's video. I'm thinking people might want to see another fundamental concepts video, but maybe not after this one. This one might have been done poorly, but please critique me. Tell me what I could have done better. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. And yeah, hope you learned something. Peace.